Alright, we should be live. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We have got the coverage for the British Grand Prix getting underway very, very shortly. The race itself will be starting in 30 minutes time, and then of course we'll have the formation lap and 52 laps of racing around the British Grand Prix circuit. The drivers are currently making their way to the grid. They're doing quite a few exploratory laps on quite a few different sets of tyres, trying to gauge the conditions. We've had very, very mixed and unpredictable weather as of late. As I said in the chat a couple of minutes ago, it rained very, very hard for about 5-10 minutes, and then 5-10 minutes later the sun came out, the clouds cleared up, and it was all sunny. So yeah, the weather very, very unpredictable. It's going to be a massive headache for the strategists to try and figure out what the optimal strategy will be. But you know, when you have a couple, maybe a 5-minute bit, 5-minute time where you're going to have a couple of showers here and there on the circuit, is it optimal to come into the pits for those 5 minutes of rain and then the following 10 minutes of wetness that the circuit will experience? Or is it optimal to just stay out on the on the slick tires and try and just tough it out and not make a pit stop? It is going to be absolutely fantastic, and I cannot wait. Yeah, it's going to be it's going to be brilliant, folks. We've already got 800 people tuned in before the live stream started, which is a record all in of itself. So guys, if you do want to help out the channel, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Hopefully we can hit 78k subscribers and 500 likes in today's live stream. I think we'll probably go a little bit further ahead since we are getting close to, since we're getting close to the record. Can you show us the radar? I will. I'll be able to check the radar. Yeah, I'll have a look and see if I can pop that up on the screen for you. I don't think I have anything set up for the weather, but let's have a look. Of course, the top 3 drivers are 3 British drivers. They were absolutely, they were over the moon yesterday. The British fans as well, they were so happy, and they'll be cheering on their drivers up at the top. But of course, you cannot count out Max Verstappen. He has brought he's got a nice bit of upgrades this weekend. And the other thing that you've got to keep in mind is he did have a damaged car in quali. So yeah, okay, all right. I'm going to show you the weather forecast. Essentially, let me just check if it's going to show up on the screen first. Right. Weather forecast. All right, there we go. So there's Silverstone, and there's rain above it, there's rain below it, and there's this little patch here where the rain isn't going. But as you can see, the wind is pushing all of these rain clouds over Silverstone, and we're probably going to have a bit of rain over here to the south of Silverstone near Milton Keynes. There is a thunderstorm going on. There's quite a bit of heavy rain there. So yeah, we do have rain forecast, and yeah, but anyway, let's get into the coverage about what's actually been going on in the qualifying sessions. Of course, we have had Ferrari been doing absolutely terribly, really. 7th position for Carlos Sainz, 11th position for Charles Leclerc. That's the second time in the previous 4 races that he's been knocked out in Q2. It happened in Montreal as well, and it's ever since he won that race in Monaco. Charles Leclerc, he broke the Monaco curse of not being able to finish a race, and then actually went on to win the race. But then he has now just had a string of bad luck, and it's not been great for him. We'll wait and see if he can recover from the string of bad luck. But if yesterday's quali is anything to go by, it does not seem like that's gonna happen. Sergio Perez in 20th position. He's currently in the pit lane. He's going to start from the pits. They're going to change his setup a little bit. I feel like they're going to go for a completely rain-oriented setup. There is chance of rain, and of course, just nudging your setup ever so slightly towards being optimized for the rain will really help out. So yeah, I think that's what Sergio Perez has been doing, and a new power unit apparently. yeah, I guess if you're already going to start in 19th position, you might as well take a new power unit and then start from the pit lane and have a brand new engine to go with it. Yeah, Perez needs more than a setup change to change his performance. Indeed, he does. All right. The other thing I'd like to say, Nico Hülkenberg up in 6th position. What a drive by him yesterday. Simply sensational. Ahead of both of the Ferrari cars. Keeping in mind that his Haas has got a Ferrari engine in the back of it. The highest Ferrari-powered car yesterday was not the Scuderia Ferrari. It was actually the Haas. And a great drive. He credits the performance and the pace coming from the upgrades that Haas have put onto the car. So Nico Hülkenberg, a fantastic job. Has Max Verstappen's car been repaired, or is it still broken as yesterday? That is the question on quite a lot of British people's minds. And the answer is Max Verstappen, his car has been repaired. The Parc Fermé regulations say that you can repair the car. You cannot upgrade the car between qualifying and the race, and you cannot modify the setup, but you can repair the car, sorry. So Max Verstappen, whatever damage he did have yesterday in qualifying, that has been fixed, and he will have the extra pace from that. He did say in the interviews afterwards, the damage, it was quite significant, and he was happy to get P4, which indicates that, he probably lost 2 or 3 tenths there because of that, because of the floor damage, and we could probably expect to see him try and get up onto the podium. I think he's very, very quick, so yeah. Football Flash, I'm pretty sure you were banned for yesterday because you were spamming a bit, so. Alright. Hi, F1 Gamer. With Perez's recent performance, what do you think Red Bull is regretting their decision? I'm sure they are. I mean, Christian Horner did have his head in his hands yesterday after Sergio Perez went and got stuck in Cop's corner. He did have his head in his hands, and that's what happened. Alright, what else have we got going on? Oscar Piastri as well. He's in 5th position, and he'll be looking to potentially get up on the podium. Lando Norris, as soon as McLaren have sort of shifted towards being the second fastest team, that little bit of pressure, maybe the added pressure to be at Oscar Piastri has not been helping out. Lando Norris has been performing better than him as of late. In his first rookie season of Formula 1, Oscar Piastri was matching Lando Norris towards the end of it. He was doing quite well. Now McLaren have really moved up to the top of the pack, and Oscar Piastri, he is struggling a little bit to keep up with the top end pace of Lando Norris. I think even in race pace they're fairly similar, but in qualifying Lando Norris has maybe the extra tenth and a half that can really help him pip some of the other drivers. Okay, and of course the Mercedes 1-2. I did not expect to see a Mercedes 1-2 after what they were after their performance at the end of the Bahrain Grand Prix, the first race of the season. I genuinely did not expect them to be anywhere near a front row lockout, but here they are in Silverstone with a batch of upgrades, with a bit of luck of Max Verstappen getting damage, and we have got the 2 Mercedes on the front row, which is mind-blowing, really. Yeah, the trailer for the new Brad Pitt F1 film, I'm currently watching it. It looks quite exciting. They've tried to use it and stay faithful to actual Formula 1. They're driving on actual circuits with actual cars. It looks like they're driving the Formula 2 cars, but either way, I'm sure that is good enough for most people who are new to Formula 1 and won't be able to notice the differences. Also, another big news coming out of Williams this weekend. James Vowles is thinking of a mid-season change at Williams, potentially to get Logan Sargent out and another driver in. He said that he's going to have to draw a line in the sand somewhere because they can't keep going on and on and on with bad performances from Logan Sargent. If Alex Albon can deliver and can score points and do a good job, then they also need a second driver that can do that. And I think that's what they're just trying to do, really. Trying to get as many points as possible, and that's going to help them out in terms of prize money. That's going to help them out in terms of getting sponsors. So Logan Sargent, admittedly, he has been improving as of late, but James Vowles said he might need to draw a line in the sand if that improvement does not continue or not get better than Alex Albon. Yeah, Logan Sargent, of course, he's had a full season in Formula One, and he's going to approach a season and a half completed by the time we get to the Belgian Grand Prix this year. So maybe after the summer break, Logan Sargent will be out of Formula One, and we may see Kimi Antonelli make the jump up. We may see another driver from the Mercedes Driver Academy switch to Williams. It's hard to say what will happen. But yeah, heartbreaking there for Logan Sargent. And the thing is, Logan Sargent out-qualified Sergio Perez in 7 races this season. There's only been 12 races, and Logan Sargent has out-qualified Sergio Perez. And that's probably not credit to Logan Sargent. I think it's due to the lack of pace of Sergio Perez. But nonetheless, it is, goes to show how badly Sergio Perez has been doing, and it is a terrible car. Well, I don't know how terrible it is, because Alex Albon seems to be scoring a couple of points here and there. Like, sure, he's not getting the points every weekend, but if you do look at the constructors' standings for Alex Albon, he has scored. Well, he's only scored 2 points actually, and Williams have only scored 2 points. They are 9th in the standings, but yeah, Albon seems to be doing great in quali. The car does drop back in the race. However, yeah, if you can't have another driver up there, it is a bit of a pain for the Williams team, isn't it? Okay. What else have we got going on? I've just tuned in. What were you saying about Logan Sargent? Logan Sargent could potentially be out of a Formula One seat halfway through this season. There is a chance that he loses his seat to someone else. Do you think Verstappen can win from P4? I definitely think he can. He has got, great amount of pace. Red Bull have brought upgrades this weekend, and he did have a damaged floor in quali, and they've managed to fix the floor. Of course, the FAA say that you are allowed to repair parts, you are not allowed to upgrade them, and hence, Max Verstappen, he's got a set of upgraded he's got a set of parts that aren't broken for his car this weekend out in Silverstone. Okay. In terms of the weather, it is very, very unpredictable. Probably 15 minutes ago, it was raining very, very hard, like massive raindrops falling. All of the fans got their umbrellas out, all of their raincoats out, and here we are. And then 5 minutes after the rain, the sunshine came out and the clouds cleared up, and it was nice and sunny. And once again, as the interviewers are on the grid and the drivers and the engineers are on the grid, the clouds have once again come over the circuit, and it looks like we may be having another rain shower. So one thing to keep in mind, at the bottom right of the screen, there will be team radios that will come through as soon as the formation lap starts, and we'll have to keep an eye out on those to understand what's been going on with the weather. And yeah. F1 Gamer, do you live in Silverstone? No, I do not. But I live in the UK, and the weather in the UK is totally, totally unpredictable. And yeah, in fact, I yesterday it was predicted 80% chance of rain, 10% chance of thunderstorm, and that's totally just gone out the window. Like, yeah, essentially. C. Paul, thank you for the donation. Had no visual last weekend, and your commentary was just on point. Appreciate it, bro. You've made such progress. Very much to appreciate it, C. Paul. Thank you for being a moderator as well. Really does help out. And yeah, sometimes I do end the stream and I'm like, oh, that commentary wasn't that great. But I think last weekend and the weekend before that as well, we've had some great qualifying and great racing, and I think my commentary's been getting better as well, so thank you for the donation. Okay, Science Engineer says there'll be rain 1 hour into race. Going to be interesting. Yeah, I don't know when it's going to rain. Someone has asked, why is there a different number of laps each race? Sorry, I'm kind of new to Formula 1. Well, that's a good question. The rules, according to Formula 1, is that on every single circuit, the drivers will drive 305 kilometers. So circuits are all different lengths, and because of that, that means that the longer circuits, you're going to have smaller number of laps, and on the shorter circuits, you're going to have a larger number of laps. And there we go. We've got a couple of team radio messages coming through from the Kicksauber team saying 17 minutes to go for the race. Brilliant. Okie dokes. Who do you think will get P1? Ooh, well, that's a tough question. If I knew, then I would definitely put a bet on it. Do you think Hulkenberg will regret his decision to go to Sauber next year, considering Haas is up rise right now? Ooh, that is a tough question, actually. And yeah, Haas have been really on the up, but I think there's a limit when it comes to Haas. Haas don't have all of the resources. For example, like McLaren and Aston Martin, they have massive financial backing behind them. Haas, kind of a limited team, and I think they're limited by the fact that Ferrari aren't the fastest. I think if Ferrari are the fastest car, then Haas could have the potential to be best of the rest. But when he moves to Sauber, which will be sponsored by Audi, they would get a whole bunch of financial backing. They'll have massive of engineers, and I think that Audi would be a much better long-term outcome than Haas. I think maybe, in the next 2-3 years, Haas would probably be better. But after that, Audi are really going to pick up the pace and try and put a lot of money and invest into Formula One. So, yeah. Okay, mixed weather would be cool, just no lightning. I mean, I don't think that we're going to have lightning strike a Formula One car, and they're mostly isolated from the ground. The cars are anyway a Faraday cage because there's quite a few complicated electronics. So I think the FIA rules say that the car does also have to be a Faraday cage, and the drivers will be fine even if the lightning does strike the car. But that would be if a photographer got a photo of a car of an F1 car being struck by lightning, that would be the coldest Formula One photo in history. And I would definitely print that out and stick that on my wall. All right, 14 minutes to go now till the British Grand Prix. We have 52 laps of racing. The top three are three British drivers, and the fans are absolutely, over the moon because of that. And yeah. Commentary, not comedy, indeed. Well, I'll try and stick to commentary, but since we've got 13 minutes of nothing going on. Oh, we've got a risk of rain, 60% risk of rain. Okie dokes, folks. When is the Discord going to be made? There was a Discord a long time ago, but it's not really active anymore. I think there'll be a Patreon chat that'll be a lot more active. But as of now, there is just my social medias, F1_gamer_5 on Instagram. And on Twitter, but I don't really use Twitter, so yeah. Is it raining? No. Suddenly, we've got another change of weather. It was totally cloudy. Now we've got a couple more bits of blue sky here and there, so a little bit less chance of rain. How many teams are headquartered in England? Well, if we go down the paddock, Mercedes are headquartered in England, so is McLaren, so is Red Bull. Haas, I think, has also got a base. It's not headquartered, I don't think, in England, so let's not count Haas. Ferrari, of course, they aren't. Aston Martin are. Williams are. AlphaTauri also kind of have a semi-headquarters. Sauber, I don't know where Sauber's one is. Alpine are based in France. So five of the 10 Formula One teams have headquarters, and then at least I think 7 or 8 of them have offices in England. What do you think of the Brad Pitt F1 trailer? I think it looks really exciting. I think they've gone to quite a bit of effort to make it accurate to Formula One, and I think it'll be a good film. I mean, I'm definitely going to go watch it. So yeah. It's I would recommend that you guys watch it as well when it does come out. Seems like it'd be another thing, kind of like Drive to Survive, looking to increase the popularity of the sport, but still trying to stay faithful to what's going on. Of course, Drive to Survive, not so much with that faithfulness aspect, but they've gone to a lot of effort to try and make the Formula One film look accurate. Is the track wet? Well, it was raining 15 minutes ago, and the drivers, when they were doing their laps to the grids, they were on intermediate tyres. So there is definitely wetness on the circuit. Wetness on the circuit, that makes sense. Track temperature, though, much higher than yesterday, 36 degrees track temperature, and we have 16-degree air temperature on the circuit. So quite a lot hotter than yesterday. And if the drivers are to do medium tyres, use the softs and the mediums and the hards, then they shouldn't have too much issue warming it up. Okay. Sauber is based in Austria. Okay, very, very interesting. I have a question. Are they on the grid yet, or do they have to wait in the garage until the formation lap? No, they are currently on the grid. As you can see, they're on the map. So all of the drivers except Sergio Perez are on the grid, and they will all do the formation lap, and then they'll start the race from the grid, of course. Yeah. Oh, maybe it's I thought it was Switzerland, but maybe Austria, maybe Switzerland. I'm sure you guys could look that up. Yeah, the track is exceedingly hot. I would have thought if it rained 15 minutes ago, which it did, by the way, track temperature would have dropped a bit, but I guess the sensors might have been at a different point on the circuit, which changes things up a bit. What happened to Perez? Perez was in 19th position, got eliminated in Q1 yesterday, and because he got stuck in the gravel in qualifying, and then they have opted to put a new power unit in his car and change the setup a little bit from the pit lane. Is Perez going to lose his contract? Yeah, probably. Well, I don't know. He's off form, and it depends on what Red Bull's going to do. Okay. Do we know what compounds they're starting on? Unfortunately, no, not yet. We'll get the information 4 minutes away from the race start. Yeah. All right, what else have we got to talk about? Well, the rundown into turn number 1. That's one of the things that we're going to have to be careful of. Yeah. Oh, also, I'm going to make a couple more people moderators. OG Ninja, you've been here for a while, so I think I'm going to make you a moderator, and Spectre X as well. Add as moderator. There we go. And Spectre X, you can be a moderator as well. Thank you very much. Okay, we've hit the light goal. Perez is in the pits because he has got a brand new engine. We've already hit 500 likes, which is fantastic considering the race hasn't even started. And thank you everyone for tuning in. Hope you are enjoying the coverage, and I'm going to go talk through all of the potential strategies for today's race if it stays dry. That is a very big if. We have a 60% forecast of rain. That was the same forecast that we had yesterday for qualifying, and it did end up raining. So the quickest strategy, start the race on a set of soft tyres and then go on to a set of mediums towards the end. You can go around about 24 laps at the absolute upper limit for a set of soft tyres, but normally the drivers will probably tend to do 20 or 18. The other second quickest strategy, start the race on the softs, then go on to the hard tyres, or you can do, of course, the alternate strategy, start on the mediums, then go on to the softs. And if tyre wear is going to be excessively high, which I don't think it will be, start the race on the mediums and then go on to the softs. But I think what the teams will be doing here is probably start the race on the soft tyres. They don't want to risk it. Maybe intermediates are the way to go. Unfortunately, I don't know. We'll have to get some more information from the engineers about which way, what is the best possible choice of tyre. And I will let you know as soon as we get the tyre information come through. But right up at the top of the pack, it is far too close to call what's going to happen, and tyre choice can make a massive, massive impact on the outcome of the race. Can you check the weather? Yes, indeed I can. It is currently not raining. The circuit is wet, and Bro, the trailer for the Formula 1 movie looks so realistic. Did they actually get F1 cars for that? No, they did not. They got Formula 2 cars, and I think they've added some CGI to make them look like Formula 1 cars. And that is what that's what they've done for the Formula 1 movie. The circuit does look a lot drier than it did yesterday. And yeah, once again, it's cloudy again. It was sunny about 5 minutes ago. It's now rainy. Yeah, I mean, you just have to watch it for yourself to see how the weather is changing, but it is so unpredictable. And yeah. So the quickest strategy, of course, start on the softs, go on to the mediums. And the other thing to keep in mind is in these sort of changeable conditions, you do want to be out on the soft tyres. The medium tyres are significantly slower in these sort of damp conditions compared to the softs. Like normally the gap between softs and mediums, 6/10, 5/10. But in these changeable conditions, it's absolutely enormous because warming up the soft tyres is so much easier than warming up the mediums. And when you have rain falling, tyre temperature is a massive factor. The drivers lose 20 seconds in the pit lane under green flag conditions, and they lose 9 seconds in the pit lane under safety car or virtual safety car conditions. So 11 second gained by pitting under safety car or virtual safety car. Massive advantage there for the drivers that do get the chance to pit in the safety car conditions. In the previous 7 years, we've had an 89% chance of a safety car, 22% chance of a virtual safety car, and a 22% chance of a red flag. So quite a lot of action around this circuit and quite a lot of chance for a safety car. Of course, we've seen this in FP1, we saw it in FP2, and we saw it in qualifying as well. Drivers lock the brakes, get stuck in the gravel, and then they can't move, and you have to deploy a safety car for that because a crane operator has to come out onto the circuit, pick the car up, take it back off the track. So the chance of a safety car, very, very high. And if anyone gets stuck in the gravel, you can guarantee that we will have a safety car coming out. But here we go. This is it. 5 minutes now till we get underway for the start of the race. And we've got the 20 quickest drivers driving 20 of the quickest cars in the world here at Silverstone. 52 laps of racing ahead of us. And let's go from the bottom of the pack all the way up to the top. I'll take you through the circuit as well. We are at Silverstone, of course, where Formula One started in 1952, where the first race was held. We have 5.8 kilometers of racing around here. The circuit is very, very flat and very, very windy. Yesterday we had wind speeds of up to 30 kilometers an hour, massive gusts that were putting drivers on guard and potentially even spinning out. So drivers do have to be cautious of that. But once again, we're back at Silverstone. 2 DRS zones, one going down the Wellington Straight between turn number 5 and turn number 6, and then the next DRS zone is down the Hanger Straight from turn number 14 to turn number 15. The drivers reach speeds of 350 kilometers an hour when they're in the slipstream and have got DRS open. And it is massive, overtaking opportunities are numerous. You can overtake into the Vale chicane, you can overtake into Stowe, you can overtake into turn number 3, you can overtake into Brooklyn. Loads of overtaking opportunities with the tyre compounds from Pirelli, the C3, the C2 and the C1 for the soft, medium and hard respectively. The hardest out of Pirelli's range because there are so many high speed corners. The sun has come out a little bit, the skies are once again blue, and the fans have taken off their raincoats, so it looks like it's going to be dry for the foreseeable future. We'll wait and see. A scientist engineer has predicted rain in the next 45 minutes, and we'll get an update on the weather radar in a couple of moments' time. We are still yet to find out what tyres everyone will be starting the race on, but Sergio Perez, he is starting from the pit lane in 20th position, changing his engine components and changing his setup as well. The two Alpines in 18th and 19th position, starting from the back of the pack. They were doing really well the past 2 weekends, getting through into Q3, but once again they are back at the back of the pack. And here we go. Interesting tyre choices. Everyone starting the race on the medium tyres. They're going for a flexible, versatile opportunity here, because starting the race on the softs, that limits you to going onto the hards at around about lap number 18. But starting the race on the medium tyres, that can get you maybe 45 minutes into the race but without having to pit. And that is when the rain is expected to fall. We have Kevin Magnussen in 17th position, Valtteri Bottas in 16th. Unfortunately, Bottas, after a great lap in Q1, couldn't hook up another lap when the rain started falling and got eliminated in Q1. Daniel Ricciardo scraped it through into Q2, and we have Guan Yu Zhou alongside him. Tsunoda in 13th position, ahead of Ricciardo once again. Logan Sargent in 12th place, out-qualifying Sergio Perez for the 7th time this season, and we're only at round number 12. Charles Leclerc, with horrible luck, in 11th position, getting for the second time in 4 races, being eliminated out of Q2. The last time was in Montreal. Then we have Fernando Alonso in 10th place after getting a lap time deleted in Q3, getting knocked down into 10th position. Alex Albon in 9th, Lance Stroll in 8th, Carlos Sainz in 7th, Nico Hulkenberg with a fantastic qualifying performance yesterday, putting his Haas car up into 6th position. Then Oscar Piastri up into 5th place. Max Verstappen with a damaged floor in 4th position. That floor has been repaired, and he will have maximal pace out of that Red Bull, so there's going to be a very big fight for the lead today. And then we've got, of course, the 3 Brits that the Silverstone fans have been going absolutely wild for. Lando Norris in 3rd, Lewis Hamilton in 2nd, who has got the most poles and the most wins at the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. And then, of course, we have got George Russell, Mr. Saturday himself, getting right up there to the top of the pack yesterday and delivering some solid performances. The timer has concluded, and we will have the formation lap getting underway shortly, folks. If you are enjoying the coverage, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. It will massively help out the channel, and we have hit our subscriber target. I can knock that up 1,000 more subscribers. Hopefully we can hit 100k by the end of the year. Alright folks, here we go. We have 52 laps of racing, and there you go, coming over the radio. We have 20 seconds left to go. 20 seconds coming over the radio to Logan Sargent, Piastri. 15 seconds for Esteban Ocon, and there we go. The drivers are making their way around the circuit. Absolutely fantastic. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to have a quick sip of water to make sure my throat doesn't hurt as we do the commentary, but strap yourselves in. We have got a fantastic 52 laps of racing ahead of us. Okay, here we go then. Let me know what your predictions are. Who do you think is going to win this race? All of the drivers, they have got their clutch settings dialed in for dry conditions. We have rain forecast for the remainder of the race. It is predicted to fall in the next 45 minutes or so, and that is why the teams have opted to go out on the medium tyres, even though the soft tyres would get them a better launch going into turn number 1 and potentially gain a couple of positions here and there. They've opted for the mediums because they know the rain is going to fall, and they have to be prepared for that. I'm sure there'll be loads of people cheering on Lando Norris, and I have a slight inkling feeling here that the McLarens are quicker than the Mercedes. The data showed that in practice. The data, of course, well, sometimes it lies, sometimes it doesn't. It depends on who was sandbagging and who wasn't. Will both Mercs make it past into the first corner? This is the other thing. George Russell is really showing up Lewis Hamilton here. It's Hamilton's home race. There are so many British fans supporting Lewis Hamilton. And Lewis Hamilton, of course, he was right up there at the top, and he was dominating Formula One. But George Russell, his brand new youngster teammate, has come along and defeated him at his home Grand Prix circuit to pole position. So I'm sure Hamilton will be feeling a bit of the pressure. Of course, he is a gentleman, and he doesn't show too much of it, but he'll be looking to try and get ahead of George Russell at the first opportunity. Here we go then. This is the formation lap, and we have got the race up and coming. We've got Hamilton and, Russell lines up to his grid slot on pole position. Then we have Lewis Hamilton behind him. Lando Norris parks up as well, and we are going to have a fantastic bit of racing coming up. And Pierre Gasly has got an issue with the car and he has come into the pit lane. That is interesting. Not ideal there for Pierre Gasly. He's come into the pit. Sergio Perez gets out of the garage. He comes towards the end of the pit lane getting ready to go racing. But the final car, Esteban Ocon, he's starting the race on the soft tyres, is approaching the final grid position as we go to do some racing. We've hit the like goal already. We've hit 1,000 likes. Thank you very much. But the green flag is out and we are going to have some sensational racing shortly. It is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 lights. The lights out and away we go. George Russell gets a great start. Lewis Hamilton's already in slipstream trying to get past. Now they head towards turn number 2, turn number 3. Russell's got the lead. Max Verstappen's under pressure from Oscar Piastri. They go into turn number 3, 3 wide, but George Russell maintains the lead. Lando Norris getting pushed out by Lewis Hamilton. Max Verstappen round the outside. He goes up into third place. 1 position gained already for Max Verstappen. DRS not started on this lap. We're going to have DRS enabled on the following lap, but the 2 McLarens in 4th and 5th position. And Bottas loses 2 positions at the back of the pack, but up at the front, we have got the 2 Mercs still holding 1st and 2nd place. Alone Max Verstappen in 3rd, and then we've got the 2 McLarens in 4th and 5th position. They lead the way down towards Copse Corner, whereas there has been so much action in the past couple of years, but George Russell comfortably ahead of Lewis Hamilton as they head into Maggots and Beckett's for the first time. And Valtteri Bottas, what a move, Guan Yu Zhou, what a move against Daniel Ricciardo, but unfortunately loses a position there as he goes into Copse Corner. All right, here we go then. They are making a massive slipstream train. Lewis Hamilton is right on the back of George Russell, and all of the drivers now, they will be trying to gain position. They're on the medium tyres. They don't have to worry too much about overheating. Track temperature has dropped to 33 degrees, so overheating is not an issue. They can just go full 100% attack, and we've got one of the Williams making an overtake into the Vale chicane, and it looks like it is Alex Albon overtakes his teammate Logan Sargent. Good start. Well, it was a bad start for Alex Albon. He lost 4 places originally, but he gets ahead of his teammate. DRS has been enabled and the gap up at the front. Everyone is within 1 second of each other. We are going to have some brilliant racing. Here we go. George Russell, the only driver at the front who won't have DRS. Every other driver behind him will. So let's see what he can do. Can he defend the lead that he deserves so much? He had a fantastic quali lap yesterday, and we're going to see what he can do. George Russell, though, in the lead, narrowly ahead of Lewis Hamilton. 7 tenths is the gap, and Max Verstappen potentially even losing DRS here off Lewis Hamilton. Lando Norris is putting a lot of pressure on Max Verstappen as they go into Maggots and Beckett's. We'll wait and see what comes of this. But coming down the hanger straight, we'll have another bit of DRS. And will Max Verstappen get it? He's hanging right off there, the cusp of DRS from Lewis Hamilton, and he does get DRS very, very thankfully. Otherwise, that could be a critical moment in the race. We've got team radio to Lewis Hamilton. Rain potentially in 25 minutes, and Pierre Gasly is retired. There has been an issue with the car, and he is out of this race. That is very, very unfortunate. If we could get an F in the chat for Pierre Gasly, that would be brilliant, folks. But here we go. We're on lap number 3 of 52, and Hamilton is 8 tenths behind George Russell, but Russell has still got the fastest lap of the race. Even with Hamilton having DRS on him, Russell has got fastest lap of the race. Absolutely fantastic driving from him. And now, well, let's just wait and see what happens. We've still got a nice big DRS train. Max Verstappen looks to have broken it. Yes, he has. Verstappen's dropped off the back of Lewis Hamilton here, 1.2 seconds behind, and he's not going to have any DRS for the foreseeable future. Nico Hulkenberg left the track and gained an advantage on the opening lap, but it does not look like he gained any sort of advantage, and he is down 3 positions. That has been noted by race control, and we'll wait and see if he gets a penalty, but I think since he's already lost 3 positions, it should be absolutely fine for him. All right, but back up at the front, George Russell, he's about to break DRS on his teammate Lewis Hamilton. Some sensational driving from George. And he's up there at the front, managing to hold his own against a 7-time world champion. He's purple through the middle sector, simply brilliant. And of course, the dirty air will not be helping Lewis Hamilton on his endeavours to try and catch up to George Russell. All right, the two Williams in 12th and 13th place, they'll be trying to gain up on Tsunoda and Alonso. But yeah, somewhere along this massive DRS train from 3rd all the way down to 17th, somewhere it's got to give. And I think that it's going to give between Fernando Alonso and Nico Hülkenberg. And there we go. Alonso drops a second back from Hülkenberg. And I think the DRS train is going to split in half. And we're going to have a bit of a no man's land there in between the two drivers. Okay, all right. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We've got 14,000 people. That is brilliant. We're coming up to a record considering we're only on lap number 4 of this race. This is brilliant. If you are enjoying the coverage, be sure to hit the like button. Really does help out the channel. And if you aren't subscribed, then be sure to do so. Hopefully we can hit 79,000 subscribers this weekend. All right. Car number 63, George Russell, is 1.2 seconds ahead of his teammate Lewis Hamilton. He is, in second position, and he has not got DRS on his teammate. And Lando Norris still on the back of Max Verstappen here. Lando Norris is a man on a mission, and he knows that he wants to get on the podium at his home Grand Prix, especially when there are 2 Brits already ahead of him. That could make it 3 British drivers to get onto the podium. The last time that happened was 1965, a very, very long time ago, and that stat could be changed today by Lando Norris if he can get ahead of Max. Of course, they had their tussle out in Austria. The feelings have been put aside and the drivers have moved on from it, but of course that still stands, and we'll wait and see how the two drivers decide to fight against each other. Will Max be as aggressive as he normally is? Will they leave a little bit more space than they normally do? Let's wait and see. But as we go on to lap number 5 of 50, the drivers have done a quarter of their first stint. The medium tyres can do around about 20-25 laps. They can do half race distance on one set of mediums. So the drivers will be, well, they've worn out the first outer layer of the tyres, and now they'll be settling in for the long haul. Yeah, let's wait and see then. Okay. Yeah, Sergio Perez, he's made an overtake on Valtteri Bottas, nicely done, but not great. He started the race on a set of hard tyres. He's still got a long, long way to go before he can gain any places and even think about scoring some points. Oh yeah, so if we I'm just watching the replay now. There's been quite a bit of there were quite a lot of action at the back of the pack. Going through turn number 3, Nico Hülkenberg went wide. It's been reviewed and there is no further investigation. But Alex Albon getting caught out, Guan Yu Zhou getting caught out and potentially losing positions because of Nico Hülkenberg's actions. But I think it's just been declared as a racing incident because it is only at turn number 3 on the opening lap of the race. Yeah, all right. Gasly retired because of gearbox issues on the formation lap. Okay. Oh, we have got radio from Max Verstappen. We are expecting the rain to increase at lap number 16. We are currently on lap number 6, so in 10 laps time, we will have rain. That lines up perfectly with what Lewis Hamilton's engineer said. They said it'll have rain in 25 minutes, and he said that at the start of the race. So lap number 16, 25 minutes, that lines up approximately, and we should have some rain falling very, very soon, and that should mix things up absolutely enormously. And I would love to see that potentially. We'll see Fernando Alonso, as he was doing yesterday in quali, putting some fantastic laps in and maybe even gaining a couple of positions in the process. Okay, we've hit our like target. Wow, this we are really going on to break some records in today's live stream. Thank you very, very much, everyone, and I hope you are enjoying the coverage. Here we go then. Charles Leclerc in 8th position. He's looking to gain on
Lance Stroll, of course, it is the Aston Martin's home race here. Their factory is about 10 minutes away from the Silverstone Circuit, but that is not going to stop Charles Leclerc. He is going 4.7 Gs as he goes through Magus and Beckett's absolutely massive speeds as he goes through there. He opens the DRS and he is gaining, and Lance Stroll has got no one ahead of him, and Leclerc's gaining. He dives to the inside. Lance Stroll sees him in his mirrors, leaves a gap, but Charles Leclerc too far back to get the overtake done. Both drivers are on medium tyres, and let's wait and see what Charles Leclerc can do on the following lap. But as those two are squabbling, Nico Hülkenberg said, "Hello, I'm right here on the back of you, Charles, so you've got to be careful, otherwise I'm going to send an overtake on you as well." So here we go then. Nico, we've got a three-way battle for 6th position at the top of the pack. Everyone has sort of spread out. Lando Norris is no longer attacking Max Verstappen. I think they're all settling in for the rain. And back in the distance, in the background of the race, we can see massive, massive dark grey rain clouds. And the wind is pushing them our way, folks. The wind is pushing the massive rain clouds over the circuit. It will only be a matter of time now. Here we go then. Let's see what Charles Leclerc can do. He's had a bad string of form in the previous couple of races, and let's wait and see if he can bounce back from that. All right, lap number 7 of this Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton keeping George Russell very, very honest. 1.7 seconds is the gap between himself and his teammate, and he's been trying to maintain that on the previous lap. The lap time difference between the two drivers, only 1/10 of a second. The drivers very, very close to each other. And here comes Charles Leclerc once again down the hanger straight. Last time he was closer than he was last time. He's going to have the DRS this time. Lance Stroll, he seems to be deploying some of his battery, and Charles Leclerc too far back to get an overtake done on this occasion. We'll see what he can do maybe into turn number 3. Yeah, Max has got a repaired floor, but the pace has not materialized. You know, it's not the dominant Max Verstappen pace that we see, and this is mainly because of the fact that Mercedes and McLaren have caught up. They are not significantly slower than the Red Bull. They're only maybe 1/10, maybe 1.5 slower than the Red Bull, and that pace difference is simply not enough for Max Verstappen to get an overtake done. Yeah. Lewis licking his lips, just don't double stop. Indeed, this could be another thing with two drivers right next to each other. You know, we see this with the two Mercs up at the top. When it starts raining, there will be a perfect pit stop. There will be a perfect time to come into the pits. And when both of your drivers are right next to each other, you cannot double stack. It is simply impossible, or the second driver loses far too much time. So one of the drivers is going to have to get compromised. And, well, it will be the driver in second position. So yeah, that's not going to work out well. I think Aston Martin have enough of a gap between their two drivers, 2 seconds, that might be close enough. But mostly, all of the drivers quite close to each other. I think the Haas's and the Red Bulls are a bit of an exception, but everyone else very close. And a weather alert, rain in 10 minutes time, folks. 10 minutes time. Lap number 16 is when it was forecast by the race engineers, and 10 minutes lines up exactly with that. Okay, let's wait and see then. George Russell on pole position. He's still holding that lead. 1.6 seconds is the gap. He is doing a brilliant job. Lewis Hamilton, of course, has so much experience around this circuit, but he is not giving in to any of the pressure, and he's done a fantastic job. George Russell, he's been criticised to be making quite too many mistakes in the previous couple of races, you know, and to be honest, he has been making a couple of mistakes. In Canada, he went offline when trying to defend, and it was wet conditions. He went onto the wet part of the circuit to defend against the driver and went straight on into the chicane. So a couple of these mistakes here and there, they seem really, really obvious. George Russell has picked up on that, and he should be improving. And he has improved, and here he is. He's doing pretty well out at the front. We've got more information. Charles Leclerc, the rain is forecast in 7 laps, and it should last 10 minutes time. Now, we don't know how heavy this rain is. Maybe it's better to stay out on the hard tyres. Maybe it'll be better to come into the intermediates and then stay out on the intermediates for a couple of laps after the rain stops. It is hard to say, but either way, what I can tell you is we're going to have some guaranteed action in this Grand Prix. And there we go. The weather radar is showing the rain arriving, and behind, so we've got a little rain cloud arriving for 10 minutes time, and then behind that there seems to be an even bigger rain cloud that will be making its way to the circuit. So I think maybe around the second half of this race we are going to have a lot more rain coming our way. All right, Oscar was told light rain in 6 minutes and then 10 minutes of clear, followed by a heavier downpour. Yeah, that seems to be about right with what everyone else has been saying. Verstappen is saying his front tires aren't working and I can't do anything. Well, he used a different word instead of anything, but yeah, essentially Verstappen complaining for a lack of front grip. So I think when he does come into the pits, they're going to knock up the front wing angle a little bit in the hopes of giving him some more front grip and trying to catch up to Lewis Hamilton. But 2.5 seconds is a gap between Verstappen and Hamilton, and potentially an undercut might close that up or even help him overtake. But yeah, if the rain's forecast, then I don't think they'll be paying attention for an undercut. Yeah, the rain, the great equalizer, where the drivers can make so much more of an impact. We saw this yesterday. Alonso up in third position with when the rain was falling in the changeable conditions. So yeah, when the rain does fall, we should have a lot more action heading our way. I'm going to have a quick sip of water, folks. We're on lap number 10 of 52, and in the distance we can see the rain clouds, and they are heading our way. It's only a matter of time now, folks. All right, any one of the top 6 do have a chance of winning this Grand Prix. You know, if they can get the strategy calls correct, if they can get them absolutely perfect, then, you know, Carlos Sainz currently in 6th position. All he has to gain is 9 seconds on George Russell, and he's ahead of him. So two correct pit stops, and he could definitely get up there into first place. So let's wait and see. Sergio Perez is on the hard tyres. I don't think that was the optimal strategy, but we'll wait and see now. I think actually, if the drivers are on the mediums, if the drivers are on the soft, it might have actually been a more optimal strategy, because the soft tyres, Pirelli said you can do 18 laps on the softs, so it might have actually been optimal to go on the soft for 18 laps, let the rain arrive on lap number 16, and then come in for the intermediate tyres. But of course, if the drivers could predict the future, I'm sure they would have done that. All right, Oscar Piastri there. He's been on the back of Lando Norris. He's been sat in that slipstream and he's been gaining on him. I don't think McLaren are going to have any sort of drivers switching around or anything along those lines. But yeah, all right, we've got more information from Verstappen. Expect the rain to last around 5 minutes. Then there'll be a window of 10 minutes before there is a longer bit of rain. So 5 minutes, 10 minutes of no rain, and then more rain. This is this is going to make it so exciting. And this is the other thing with the change of conditions. It's actually harder to drive in changeable conditions than it is to drive in totally wet conditions, because in totally wet conditions, you know the entire circuit has got less grip than normal, whereas in changeable conditions there's a bit of a dry line, but on the wet parts of the circuit you go even 10 centimeters wide and your car is going to do an instant spin. Like the change of grip when you go slightly offline in changeable conditions is absolutely enormous. So the driver's are going to have to be careful of that, because it is very easy to lose your feet and have a nice spin, exactly like Sergio Perez did yesterday, and exactly like Max Verstappen nearly did when he went off into the gravel trap and damaged his floor in Q1. So it can happen to the very best of the drivers, and they have to be very wary. Lewis Hamilton is gaining on George Russell, the gap down to 1.3 seconds. I don't think that is anything to read into much. I think George has had a couple of bad laps. Well, not really that bad. He's only been a tenth slower than his teammate, but yeah, with the margin so close, it does show that Hamilton is gaining very marginally. Maybe Hamilton will win. Hamilton is of course brilliant in the rain. Of course, 2008 Silverstone, he did a fantastic job when it was raining in in a massive fashion, and he nearly lapped the entire field on that day. So Hamilton at Silverstone in the rain, he has done it before and he could maybe do it again. But of course, at that point in 2008, Max Verstappen wasn't on the grid and neither was Lando Norris. So who knows what will happen? But we are on lap number 13 of 52, and the rain is expected to fall in 3 laps' time. Guan Yu Zhou, the first driver to come into the pit lane, he's done 12 laps on his soft tyres, and he is opting to come out on another set. What tyres is he coming out on? He is coming out on a set of medium tyres. Interesting. So I think Sauber are going to go with the fact that it might not rain heavily enough in the first 5-minute window, because this is the thing. So what we've been told by McLaren and by Red Bull, it's going to rain for 5 minutes from lap number 16 probably to lap number 19, lap number 20 or so, and then it's going to stop for 10 minutes, and then it's going to rain heavier and longer after those 10 minutes are up. So the question remains is, can you go out or can you stay out on the slicks for the first bit of rain and then come into the pits for the second bit of heavier rain? Only time will tell. It really depends on the intensity and where the rain is falling. But here goes Charles Leclerc down the inside of Lance Stroll. Great move there, and Lance Stroll did not see this coming. He was tucked right behind him with the slipstream and the DRS, and Charles Leclerc gets ahead of Lance Stroll. Nicely done from the Monegasque, and we're on lap number 14 of 52 just before the rain arrives. And Lando Norris has got DRS on Max Verstappen. Very, very exciting. That gap had expanded a lot more, but Norris has closed it right up there, having a personal best lap on the previous occasion, going 3/10 quicker than Verstappen, and he is now 6/10 behind Verstappen, and he's chasing him down for 3rd position. So let's wait and see what happens. Lando Norris could put on a move on Max Verstappen just before the rain arrives. Okay, 7/10 is the gap as they go through Copse Corner. Nicely done there from Lando Norris, staying within track limits. Nobody has exceeded track limits so far in this race, and we're on lap number 14, so that's good going from the drivers. But as they go through Maggotts and Beckett's, the gap extends ever so slightly, the dirty air not being nice for the driver that is following. But Lando Norris, he's got the DRS, he's got the slipstream, he looks to the inside, but he is 3.5 back once he reaches the braking zone, and he knows that is too far back for braking into Stowe Corner. But yeah, on the opening corners of the Grand Prix, Lando Norris got overtaken by Max Verstappen around the outside, and now is looking to fight him back. We've got raindrops on the cameras, folks. We have got raindrops on the cameras. Russell's come over the radio, said keep me posted on if it's going to get heavier or not. But yeah, it's raindrops on the camera, so the rain is definitely falling. Grip conditions are reducing. All right, here comes the rain then. Lando Norris, he's gaining. He's got the slipstream once again, but 5.5 seconds, 3.5 back once again as he hits the braking zone. But he is closer than he was on the previous lap, and we could have a move here from Lando Norris. Max Verstappen goes wide, misses the apex going through Laffield Corner, and Lando Norris is right on his tail now, going towards Copse Corner. Here they come. Are they going to go side by side? Lando Norris a little bit too far back, and he pulls out the slipstream. He knows that making a move into Copse is rather, risky. So he goes through Maggotts and Beckett's. 4/10 is the gap. Previously, it was 7/10 on the previous occasion, but now it's down to 4. He's got the DRS, he's got the slipstream, he's going to have a slingshot down the hanger straight, and here comes Lando Norris as they go under the bridge, approach the braking zone. Lando Norris to the inside, and Max Verstappen leaves space, and Norris is up into 3rd position. It is 3 Brits up on the podium, and the wave of McLaren fans goes absolutely crazy. And Lando Norris up into 3rd place. Max Verstappen struggling with his front tyres, unable to stay ahead of Lando Norris. Now let's wait and see what Verstappen is going to do. Is he going to try and fight this one back? But I don't think he can. The gap is 7/10 of a second already, and there's only been 3 corners so far. So A great move from Max Verstappen. Verstappen holds his line, doesn't move under braking like he did in Austria, and Lando Norris is up into third position. Great drive there from the young Brit, and let's wait and see if he can stay ahead of Verstappen, and indeed he can. Look at that gap, it's 0.8 of a second already. Verstappen nearly lost DRS there, and Piastri now coming to attack his the reigning world champion. Okay, it's raining in the pit lane, a little lighter now, but still light. That's what the information has been sent over to Oscar Piastri. But they've come over to Valtteri Bottas. Heavier rain in the next 2-3 minutes. We'll keep you updated on the feeling. Interesting. The heavy rain should last 2 or 3 laps. The other thing to keep an eye out is, of course, what the crowd are doing. Are they going to pull out their raincoats? Are they going to bring out the umbrellas? That is a very big indicator of if the rain starts getting heavier. And I can see the raindrops, and the crowd have got their raincoats out, and the rain is really starting to fall a little bit heavier than before. It's expected to be only 2 or 3 laps. Lando Norris has got the fastest lap of the race as well. He's really pushing here, and he's managed to break DRS to Max Verstappen and Piastri now on the back of Verstappen. As the grip conditions get lower and lower, Max Verstappen really struggling with his front tyres here, and Piastri could get an overtake done on the reigning world champion. Puddles have started to form on the outside of the track. On the runoff areas, there are puddles of water. Kevin Magnussen did make a move up on Daniel Ricciardo. Nicely done round the outside. Good move there from K-Mag. But the rain has started to fall for a bit, and it might stop falling in about 2 or 3 minutes time. But yeah, all right. Here we go then. Lewis is 1.7 seconds behind George Russell. Russell has been doing impeccable job of driving here. He has been staying ahead of Lewis Hamilton very, very consistently. So let's wait and see what happens. Oscar Piastri here, he is 0.6 behind Max Verstappen. And let's wait and see if he can do what Lando Norris did and get ahead of him. Okie dokes. Yeah, the crowd have definitely put on their raincoats and brought the umbrellas out. The rain is definitely heavy. The question is, how much longer will that heavy rain last? Oscar Piastri, he's got the DRS, he's got the slipstream, he moves to the inside, and he gets ahead of Max Verstappen in the exact same fashion that Lando Norris did. Can he fight it back? Max Verstappen, no he cannot, and Piastri is up into 4th, and Verstappen is down in 5th position. The Red Bull car, has it gone backwards? Are they just... Or has everyone else gone forward? It is tough to say. Verstappen, though, he looks like he's going to fight this one as they go into turn number 3. He's looking to the inside. Piastri didn't seal the deal as well as Norris did. And let's wait and see. Verstappen has been told over the radio, target would be to try and survive this pocket of rain, Max. It's obviously your call if the conditions get worse, but the information given to the drivers is survive the pocket of rain. Oh my god, there's a mistake from Russell, and Hamilton is right on the back of Russell. 0.4 is the gap. The rain has started to fall, and this is where the experience comes through. Lewis Hamilton right on the tail of George Russell. They go towards Copse Corner. Are we going to have a repeat of 2021? Here we go into Hamilton on the inside. He backs off a little bit. He's not going to overtake his teammate at Copse. That would be far too dangerous. But now they go through into Maggots and Beckett's. There's a DRS zone up and coming. Rain is falling heavier and heavier. And let's see who makes a mistake first, or who gets the lead of this race as they go through the DRS zone. Lewis Hamilton has got DRS. He is gaining. He looks to the inside. What does George Russell do? He holds the outside line. Hamilton goes down the inside, and he's got the lead of the British Grand Prix. What an overtake there from Lewis Hamilton, and just one mistake. That's all he needed from George Russell. One mistake from the Brit, and Lewis Hamilton is up into first place. George Russell, though, he's not going to give up so easily. He's going to hold within this DRS, and here they go into turn number 3, round number 2. George Russell versus Lewis Hamilton. Let's wait and see what happens. Oh, and they both go wide. And here comes Lando Norris. Who's going to get the lead? And Lando Norris is narrowly in 3rd position, and Piastri goes wide as well. The rain has come down so much heavier. Norris gets the overtake done on George Russell. What an overtake. But the rain is really coming down, and the drivers are struggling so much. Oh my god. Here we go then. 2 mistakes from both of the Merc drivers, and Lando Norris has capitalized off that. He's ahead of Russell, and if he can maybe not make another mistake, then he looks like he might be able to overtake Lewis Hamilton. But into turn number 1, DRS has been disabled because we have got low grip conditions. Into turn number 1, Hamilton, Russell and Piastri, all 3 of them made mistakes and went wide onto the runoff area. Lando Norris was the only driver to not do that, and he has gained positions. Oh my god, the amount of spray on the circuit. They are going to have to come in for intermediate tyres. There is just too much rain. It is so risky out here on the slick tyres. Everyone has slowed down so much. But what I can say, look up there at the top 6. They are so close. Even if one driver makes a mistake, anyone could take the lead of this race. We're on lap number 19. The rain has really started to come down. Can they do a double stop? Is anyone coming into the pits? Nobody comes into the pits. Hamilton stays in the lead of this race. Lando Norris in second place. Russell isn't into the pits. Neither is Piastri. And they all go on to complete another lap of this circuit. Lando Norris half a tenth back on Hamilton, and he goes to the inside of turn number 1. Lando Norris has got the lead. What a move. And he was in third place 2 laps ago, and after a couple of mistakes, Lando Norris up into first place. He is our new race leader, and Piastri is on the back. Both Mercedes are struggling, and here comes Oscar Piastri. It's his second season of Formula 1. He goes round the outside of George Russell. He's on the tail of Lewis Hamilton. What a move from Oscar Piastri. He gets a massive slap of oversteer as well, but he is doing a fantastic job. He looks to the inside of Wellington. Can he get an overtake done? He cannot get the overtake done as of now, but what a move. Charles Leclerc's into the pits. Sergio Perez is into the pits as well. We've got a couple of drivers pitting, but a couple of drivers staying out as well. Here we go. Here comes Oscar Piastri. Is it going to be a McLaren 1-2? As they go into Stowe Corner, Piastri backs out. He knows it's too risky going through here. But coming into Maggots and Beckett, the hanger straight is up and coming. Let's wait and see what happens. Ocon is coming into pits as well. We've got 3 drivers out on the intermediate tyres. They're going to have to focus on the lap times. But, oh, another mistake. And Hamilton, he loses the position to Piastri, does he? It is so close. He gets pushed off onto the grass. But here comes Oscar Piastri. It's a drag race to Stowe, and Piastri's got the inside line. Great move there from Oscar Piastri. Simply sensational. And here they go into the Vale chicane. Guan Yu Zhou with a 3.8 second pit stop. He is another driver coming in for the intermediate tyres, but on lap number 20, the rain has slightly eased off a bit, and we've got a McLaren 1-2, a Mercedes 3-4, and Max Verstappen in 5th place. Oh my god, this race is absolutely mind-blowing. Folks, if you are enjoying the coverage, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. If we could hit 79k, even 80k this weekend, it would be mind-blowing. But let's keep an eye out on these lap times from the drivers on intermediate tyres and what they're doing. It is still fairly dry. I think it is too early for the medium tyres, honestly. Yeah, far too early for the medium tyres, for the intermediate tyres, sorry, and the drivers who've come out on the intermediates, they might be suffering for a bit. It is predicted to carry on raining, so it might work out in the end, but as of now, it is not looking good for the medium tyre runners. Okay, here we go then. All right, Carlos Sainz here, right on the back of Max Verstappen. We'll wait and see what Carlos Sainz can do. But, yeah, wow. What a Grand Prix. I'm going to have a quick sip of water, but the past couple of laps, we've had some great overtaking. We're getting a load of messages over race control. Track surface slippery. There is chance, well, there's not chance of rain. There definitely is rain, and that's why we've had so many mistakes in the previous couple of laps. But Piastri, you've got to give props to the guy. It's his second season in Formula 1, getting past both Mercedes drivers, keeping it cool, not making mistakes, and a brilliant drive so far. I think someone donated $5 there. Totally got lost in all of the action. Craig Pfeiffer, thank you for the $5 donation. Very much is appreciated. And thank you for supporting the channel. Also, folks, I've turned off adverts. I've been messing around with YouTube settings for quite a while now to try and disable adverts totally for you guys. So I hope you guys aren't getting them. And just to help out the channel financially, if you can, then there is a Patreon link in the description. You get a couple of extra bonuses. But yeah, a Patreon link, a buy me a coffee link. But of course, that is if it's totally up to you. But a like and subscription is more than enough. Back to this race, DRS has been disabled. The rain is still falling, however, not as intense. They've come over the radio to Kevin Magnussen saying the rain will get a bit more intense in 4 laps time. And the question is, will it be better? It is tough to say. Oh, we've got another donation, $4.99 from Lietza Marici. Thank you very much, Lietza, and yeah, very, very grateful for you supporting the channel. But we're just getting a replay here of Lando Norris's move on Lewis Hamilton, and he looks to the inside. Hamilton knows that he's not going to have enough grip around the outside, and he just concedes the position. Lando Norris has done a brilliant job. Red Bull have said it is too dry for intermediate tyres, and I think that is correct. If you look at the drivers who are on intermediate tyres, they are 4 seconds a lap slower in the first sector. Sergio Perez, he's 2 seconds a lap slower, still not able to compete. The intermediate tyres overheating. There is not enough water on the circuit. Yeah, it really the drivers are really struggling, and Esteban Ocon comes into the pits again, and I have a feeling that he's going to come out on another set of hard tyres. What happened to Charles Leclerc? Leclerc came into the pits early. He came into the pits for a set of medium tyres. It wasn't enough. Yeah, and Lando Norris, I must say, he's not totally mistake-free. Going through Magnussen Beckett after he overtook Lewis Hamilton, he made another mistake, but he was so far in the lead that he managed to recover it. So we've got more rain forecast in 4 minutes time, folks. So 4 minutes, do not go anywhere. We have got even more rain on the way. And, you know, as of now, it looks like Ferrari have ruined Charles Leclerc's race. But in 4 minutes' time, if the rain starts absolutely pouring it down, then Charles Leclerc will be the man to capitalize off it. So let's wait and see. In 4 minutes' time, we've got rain. We don't know if it'll be heavy or if it'll be light, but there is more rain expected. Everyone is getting that message over the radio as of now. So here we go then. Let me know who you think's going to win this race, but currently Lando Norris has got the fastest lap of the race. He set that on the previous lap, like he is really pushing for it on this set of medium tyres. The medium tyres also, they are reaching the end of their life. Pirelli say you can only do 25 laps, maybe 28 laps pushing it on a set of mediums. So they are reaching the end of their life. DRS has been re-enabled by the FIA. They deem it safe enough, and the track is back up to normal grip conditions. And given that Lando Norris did set a fastest lap of the race on the previous lap, it does seem like grip conditions have returned back to normal. So let's wait and see. But the rain forecast in 4 minutes' time, is that gonna change that? We'll wait and see. But up at the top of the pack, the gaps are all bigger than 1 second, so DRS not affecting anyone. In fact, the only drivers it is affecting is Yuki Tsunoda, Alex Albon, and Logan Sargent. What a race so far. We're only halfway through, folks. We are only halfway through. If you are enjoying, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. We're getting pretty close to 79k. Wow. Yeah. Here we go then. All right. So this... Ooh, the rain intensity has picked up a little bit, and they come over the radio to Esteban Ocon. Possible rain for the next 30 minutes. Very, very interesting here. Very, very interesting indeed. So it looks like we might actually have a lot more rain coming, and the clouds and the sky is getting darker. The clouds are getting darker as well. So yeah, maybe we do have 30 more minutes of rain heading our way. I mean, how much I look forward to that, I cannot describe. Okay. Kevin Magnussen has done a brilliant job here. He started the race in 17th, up into 12th place. Fantastic drive from him so far. He's just overtaken Logan Sargent on the previous lap. Yeah. Brilliant job. It looks very dark near Stowe Corner and the Hangar Straight. Indeed, I think that is where the rain is coming from. And who knows? Who knows what will happen? Yeah, Perez has been lapped. Yeah, I mean, of course, Perez has come into the pit, so it's expected that he's going to be lapped. But nonetheless, not looking good for Sergio Perez getting lapped while his teammate is up in 5th position. Okay, yeah, Leclerc's about to get lapped as well, and there he goes. Charles Leclerc is lapped by Lando Norris, by Oscar Piastri, by Lewis Hamilton. Oh my God. The rain is falling. Oh, Leclerc goes wide. He misses the gravel so narrowly. But Leclerc, looking in his mirrors, not focusing on the driving. He's been trying to avoid the other drivers for blue flags, something that he's definitely not used to. And he goes wide. But here comes Carlos Sainz. He's got DRS on Max Verstappen. He can't get the overtake done because Sergio Perez is on the inside line at Stowe Corner. But as they now go towards the... Oh, DRS has just been disabled. The FIA have said, oh no, it's starting to rain again. So now they've disabled DRS and they've re-announced low grip conditions. And here we are, exactly halfway through the race. Here comes Carlos Sainz. He looks to the inside of Sainz. He looks to the inside of Verstappen but unable to get a move done. Piastri comes over the radio saying it is too early for intermediate tyres, so it looks like that they're going to stay out a little bit longer until the rain really starts to get heavier, and then we should have the drivers coming into the pits for some inters. Yeah, I mean, Ferrari have really made a bad choice here. 5 laps, they've pitted Charles Leclerc. He's currently lapping the intermediate tyre runners. They are lapping 13 seconds slower than the drivers on slick tyres, but the conditions are getting worse and worse. It takes Carlos Sainz maybe 3 seconds to get onto full throttle as he comes out of the field, and he was trying to overtake Max Verstappen, but Verstappen has got away with it. Carlos Sainz making a bit of a mistake, but the conditions have dropped off a lot. They have to lift off going through Copse Corner, and as the rain starts falling, we are going to see more and more drivers pitting into the inters. They've just told Fernando Alonso to go 50 kilometers per hour slower into Copse Corner, and 2 drivers going wide as well. The 2 McLarens going a little bit wide through Stowe. Which driver is going to come into the pits first, and which driver is going to get the... Oh, Piastri gets a big tank slapper as he comes out of the Vale chicane. Going through Club, though, he's right on the tail of Lando Norris. The 2 McLarens are fighting. Verstappen comes into the pits. They've said box to Max Verstappen. Verstappen's into the pits. Maybe it was this lap. Maybe this lap was the lap the drivers should have pitted. Let's keep an eye out on the intermediate tyres. Are those drivers getting quicker? Yes, they are. And Verstappen into the pits, Carlos Sainz into the pits, and McLarens are going to have a very, very big headache on who comes into the pits here, because both of their drivers are currently in 1st and 2nd place, and they don't want to be compromising either of them. Are they going to battle each other on this lap, on lap number 27 of 52? Are they going to battle? No, they're not. Piastri nearly goes wide. Both drivers making mistakes there, and Hamilton goes wide. Russell goes wide. They are very, very close to exceeding track limits. The 2 drivers out the front, but the conditions are getting worse and worse, so we've got to keep an eye out here on how the intermediate tyres are doing. And yeah, the intermediates are getting closer and closer to the slicks, and we're getting more and more mistakes creeping in. Oscar Piastri, another twitch of the car as he goes through Copse Corner, and the rain clouds are getting heavier at this part of the circuit. The drivers are going to have to be so careful as they crawl their way to the pits. But Oscar Piastri, he's in 2nd position, and he's going to lose out massively. He's going to have to do another lap in these sort of conditions, whereas Lando Norris is going to probably come into the pits. That's what McLaren's going to do, because Lando Norris is in the lead, and Hamilton's going to get preferential treatment as well. They've come over the radio. Lando Norris, box, please box now. And Hamilton's into the bits as well, and the drivers in 2nd place, they are forced to stay out because they cannot double stack. And oh my God, all right. Let's wait and see then if they can get quick pit stops done. If McLaren mess up the pit stop, Hamilton could get an overtake done. Ooh, Russell's into the pits. Mercedes decide to do a double stack. Russell, I think, slowing down a little bit. But they do the double stack nicely, and I think Russell has only lost a little bit of time, and it might have been the better option to do, to be honest, because Piastri out there is really, really struggling. Through the first sector he goes, and he is crawling out. He's crawling around, and Lando Norris is about to get past him. So, Yeah, he is going so slowly, and our Piastri, I was so hopeful, but him staying out is really compromised his race. Up at the front though, Verstappen and Sainz, they're gaining enormously, absolutely enormous amounts of lap time they're gaining. They're out on intermediate tyres that have warmed up, they are quick, and Sainz is about to overtake Verstappen. Verstappen, I think, might even be in a net second place here. Oh, sorry, a net third place. But yeah, just looking on the track map here, Piastri is crawling around while Lando Norris is catching up at a rate of knots, and the intermediate tyres, yeah, the intermediate tyres are very much the optimal tyres for now, and the only driver out on the mediums is Oscar Piastri, and that has not worked out well for him. They're going to box this lap, but Lando Norris has already closed up the 20 seconds he lost in the pit lane. He's closed up 17 of those seconds. They've come over the radio to Verstappen saying a great call for the intermediate tyres, and Max Verstappen, he's in a net fourth position now, a net third position as Piastri comes into the pits. And they couldn't double stack because the two drivers were too close to each other, but in the reality of it was Piastri, he would have lost 4 seconds, maybe 5 seconds if they did a double stack, but yeah, they opted to stay out in the pits, and Oscar Piastri, he lost 16 seconds, so not an optimal choice by McLaren, and it was Mercedes to make the optimal choice there. And it's so counterintuitive. It's like you never double stack if your drivers are next to each other. But however, if your driver is going to lose 17 seconds staying out on slick tyres, then you might as well double stack and lose the 5 seconds that you would. And yeah, Mercedes pulling off a great strategy there, and Oscar Piastri 18 seconds behind his teammate when he was only half a second behind, 17.5 seconds lost in that one pit stop blunder by Oscar Piastri, and he'll feel very hard done by, especially when he watches the replays and he sees that Mercedes did a double stack even though the two drivers were right next to each other. Alright, here we go then, lap number 29 of 52. Lando Norris in the lead of this race, Lewis Hamilton in second position, and Max Verstappen 4.3 seconds behind him. I think they would have changed the front wing angle on Max Verstappen's car. He should have a bit more front grip, and let's wait and see what will happen. Charles Leclerc, though, he's come in for another set of intermediate tyres. I don't know what's gone on, but I think Leclerc did 8 laps on intermediates when it was dry conditions. Those intermediates just got totally worn out and broken, and he had to come into the pits again when everyone else came into the pits. So a huge L from Ferrari's part. They have just totally screwed up the strategy for Charles Leclerc, and Carlos Sainz is still up in 5th place. So yeah, I mean, Ferrari just doing Ferrari things, to be honest, and McLaren making a unfortunate mistake there. Sergio Perez into the pits again. I don't know why Perez is into the pits. Perez has done 8 laps on intermediate tyres. I have a feeling that they've worn out exactly how Leclerc's have. The tread has worn out because they've been driving around in slick conditions, and Perez once again getting a suboptimal strategy from Red Bull, and he is now down in 17th position. Oh, what a whole lot of action that have gone on. We've got 20,000 people tuned into the coverage, folks. If you are enjoying it, be sure to hit the like button. It really does help out the channel. And we have had a sensational Grand Prix so far, and we have still got half of the race left to go. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and I hope to see you in future races and future qualifying sessions, since I do commentary for all of them. Yeah, here we go then. Lando Norris driving in mixed conditions, 2.7 seconds ahead of Lewis Hamilton, doing a good job there. But Sergio Perez, his right rear tyre having a bit of left tyre, having a bit of issues as he came in for his pit stop. Yeah. All right. Do you even read chat? I do try to keep an eye on chat, but of course commentating as well is it's pretty difficult to commentate and read chat at the same time. The rain should be ending in around 15 minutes time, but yeah, we'll wait and see. It's a bit unpredictable out here in Silverstone. Who's your favourite team? well, I support Seb Vettel. Seb Vettel's my favourite driver, so I'm kind of impartial, but I guess a little bit biased to Fernando Alonso. Verstappen's over the radio saying the tyres are degrading a lot. It's still not optimal intermediate conditions. Optimal intermediate conditions means there's a bit of standing water on the circuit, but because the drivers are just driving around and immediately taking off any sort of standing water, the intermediate tyres are degrading a lot. And Verstappen only done 4 laps on intermediate tyres, yet they have degraded so much that he's come over the radio saying that it is degrading. So yeah, it's a weird middle gap where you need intermediate tyres because the track is too slippery, but the intermediate tyres are not in their optimal condition because there's just not enough water. So it's this middle ground where the drivers are in a bit of a compromised situation. It's still forecast to rain for the next 15 minutes, so it might get a bit heavier, but as of now, the skies seem to be sort of clearing up on the other side of the circuit, so it's hard to say what will be happening. It is still raining, but it is hard to say how heavy it is. Can't really see from the TV camera angle. Yeah. 20,000 people watching. Yeah, indeed, it is absolutely crazy and mind-blowing, really. We've got radio from Hamilton. This rain is going to last another 6 laps at least. Hamilton's come over the radio saying there's no more rain anymore, mate. So interesting. The engineer's saying that it's going to rain for the next 6 laps. Hamilton saying it's not raining whatsoever. So bit of a miscommunication. Maybe it's raindrops on his visor that he is that Hamilton can tell if it's, of course, spray or if it's rain. But yeah, up at the back, George Russell, he's catching up to the back of Max Verstappen, and Sainz is coming under pressure from Piastri. Piastri's done a good job. He has, of course, been compromised by strategy, but he's going to try and get 5th place regardless of Carlos Sainz. 1.1 seconds behind him. We've got no DRS, of course, but he comes out, gets a great exit, very, very careful on the throttle. The grip conditions are a bit slippery. Hamilton comes over the radio, the front tyres are falling apart, and indeed they are. There's just not enough water. You have to drive over the curbs if you want to pick up water, and driving over the curbs is far too slippery and far too risky. But here comes Oscar Piastri now, right on the tail of Carlos Sainz as they go through Le Field, and we'll wait and see if he can get him moved on. He's under 1 second now. Yeah, wow. Ooh. Interesting, very, very interesting. We'll wait and see what they decide to do, but these intermediate tyres are degrading. Apparently there's no rain. I think there's still a little bit of rain falling here and there on the circuit, but it does not seem to be enough for intermediate tyres. Piastri is gaining on Carlos Sainz, and let's wait and see what he can do. He is 9/10 off the back of him. He's gaining through the slipstream, but still not enough to get anywhere near an overtake. Yeah, it's been a very, very interesting British Grand Prix, hasn't it, so far? Let me know who you think will be driver of the day. I think... I don't know, actually. Honestly, I want to give my driver of the day to Piastri. He did such a good job, but then got compromised by the strategy. Maybe Kevin Magnussen. He started in 17th, up 5 places. He's done a brilliant job as well. Maybe Lando Norris. I don't know. There's a very big mix of who could be driver of the day. All right, but here we are on the intermediate tyres, and they are wearing out faster and faster. Piastri on the back of Sainz here, and he's gaining, but the question is, how much longer can he keep gaining for, and will he get any closer than 1.1 seconds, because the gap has been hovering there for quite a while. Yeah, I mean, Lando Norris has been doing a fantastic job in those critical moments. You know, he did not make a mistake when both Mercedes drivers made mistakes, and his teammate behind him also made a mistake, but Lando Norris didn't, and hence got the race lead from that position. So, wow, so much action going on. And maybe we'll have a couple of drivers coming into the pit soon, because these intermediate tyres, they're really wearing out. And they're looking for wet patches. They come over the radio to Logan Sargent, keep looking for wet patches, but if all 20 drivers are looking for wet patches, those wet patches become dry patches very, very quickly. And the rain seems to have paused. The skies have cleared up, and there's blue skies once again. The weather is so unpredictable at this circuit. Yeah. All right, I'm just going to give these radios a quick refresh. So yeah, the radios will keep coming through. I just have to refresh them. Oh, George Russell's been told to retire the car. What's going on here? Russell's retiring in front. Oh my God, at his home Grand Prix where he stuck it on pole, drove so well for the opening third of this race, he's been told by his team to retire the car. Can we get an F in the chat there for George Russell? What has gone on? Oh, he looks absolutely disappointed. Oh no. And yeah, he's just swearing over the radio, and you can't blame him, can you? What a drive so far. The first 27 laps he did on those medium tyres were sensational. And then he's been brought in for a mechanical issue on George Russell's car, and he is forced to come into the pits to retire. That is absolutely tragic. Yeah, it's just not to be, is it, for George Russell? I'm going to quickly, hopefully, refresh this, and it's listening for team radio messages. There's not a lot of team radio messages coming through as of now. Yeah, our most recent race winner, George Russell, retiring from this race. Very, very unfortunate there. And I'll check why these radio messages aren't coming through. Yeah, he's going to be the most disappointed person in this entire paddock. All right, let me just give the team radios a quick refresh, folks. There we go. Yeah, George Russell done absolutely nothing wrong, and they've come over the radio to Lewis Hamilton. Just for info, Russell retired with a suspected water system issue. Now, I don't know exactly what that water system relates to, but yeah, Lewis Hamilton will have to be wary of that and make sure that the same fate does not happen to his car. Maybe there's a couple of sensors they can change and a couple of settings they can change to prevent that from happening, but Lewis Hamilton is going to have to be wary. He's in second place now, and he is still 3 seconds behind Lando Norris, unable to gain, and Norris doing a fantastic job. Yeah. What a race. What a race. Yeah, Alex Albon here in the points in 10th position. He's he's done a good job so far on those intermediate tyres, and we'll wait and see what he can do. But James Vowles saying that the race has been very, very tricky in terms of strategy for the team. And the conditions have been suboptimal for them. All right. Yeah, K-Mago almost lost at a story. I just saw the replay of that, and it was a massive snap. And this is the thing. We've got rain ending in 6 minutes' time, and the drivers will be looking to come off the intermediate tyres as soon as possible. The lap times that they are currently setting are 1:43. They have to do lap times of 1:36, 1:37 before they come in for slick tyres. So the times have got to tumble around about 4 or 5 seconds before they come in for the slicks. And we've got another set of we'll have another set of pit stops that the teams will choose to do, and another set of pit stops, and that will mean another chance for Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz, all of these drivers to potentially make their way up to the top. George Russell retired out of the race with an issue with his water system. I think that might be related to his coolant. Maybe they use water for cooling. I think they must use some special water plus like some lubricant. But yeah, very, very interesting indeed. Okay. Ooh, this is interesting. They've come over the radio to Lando Norris saying Mercedes only have a set of soft tyres or hard tyres. We do have the medium tyres if we want. With 17 laps left of this race, you can go on the soft tyres till the end. The soft tyres will go 18 laps. So yeah, Lando Norris, he has the choice of the soft tyres, he has the choice of the mediums, he has the choice of the hards. However, the Mercedes team, which is only Lewis Hamilton at this moment in time, they only have one set of soft tyres and one set of hards. So no medium tyres for Lewis Hamilton, and that might be the deciding factor that ensures Lando Norris holds this lead. However, Hamilton is catching up on the previous couple of laps, knocked that gap down from 3 to 2 seconds. The sun has come out, and this is the thing. This is what the sun has come out, folks. We will probably not have any more rain for the rest of this race. But the thing to keep in mind here, exactly like what happened in Canada, when the sun comes out, the circuit starts drying up so rapidly. It took about 15 minutes for the circuit in Canada, which was drenched by a massive storm, to dry up when the sun had come out. So yeah, Lando Norris, he has, Lando Norris, Lewis Hamilton, all of the drivers, they'll be keeping their eyes peeled for when the lap times dip between a 1:37 and a 1:36. And that is when they'll come into the pits for a set of soft tyres. Maybe a set of mediums, but this is the thing. In these sort of damp conditions, the soft tyres are optimal. They are going to help you out the most. They're going to generate the most tyre temperature and allow you to go as quick as possible. So maybe the soft tyres are optimal. We'll wait and see what the teams do, but we have got 16 laps remaining of this race. Lando Norris is 2 seconds ahead of Hamilton, and Hamilton is gaining, and it is indeed hammer time. Let's wait and see what the two Brits do up at the front. Max Verstappen sitting there in the wings, 6.7 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton, unable to gain that much. He's struggling with his car, but nonetheless unable to catch up to the leaders of this race. And I have a feeling here, this is a turning point in the season where the Red Bull is no longer the dominant car, where the Red Bull is no longer always guaranteed to be the fastest car in the Grand Prix. And for the remaining second half of the season, we have a potential battle with the Mercedes, with the McLarens, and with the Red Bulls, a three-way fight potentially for race wins, which is going to make the rest of the season so much more exciting. And I cannot wait, really. Okay, all of the engineers now asking their drivers, what do you think of the track conditions? What is going on? Give us updated, keep you posted. And what do you think about the tyres? That we see a very, very faint dry line forming now. Verstappen's over the radio. He said he's been asked to stay out. Are you happy staying out for the moment? He said yes for the moment. So Verstappen, he made the perfect call. He pitted 30 seconds before 30 seconds before the rain started to fall. In the first bit of the first rain patch of this Grand Prix, and he nailed his strategy, gained a position because of it, and we'll wait and see if he can do that again. Okay. Piastri's come over the radio. They've asked Piastri, we think medium is the best tyre, and Piastri said yes, it's the best. Magnussen comes into the pits, a 3.3 second pit stop for him. He's out on soft tyres. They've come over to Lewis Hamilton saying, box, Hamilton will be coming into the pits on this lap. The lap times are down to a 1:38. The traditional pit stop time, a 1:36 or 1:37, so switching from the softs, from the wet tyres to the slick tyres. The driver's pouncing on this a little bit early. The pit lane seems awfully wet and there's quite a bit of spray. Maybe it's a bit early for Lewis Hamilton. It's only time will tell. Verstappen also follows Lewis Hamilton in, but Verstappen out on a set of hard tyres. That is going to take a lot of time to warm those hard tyres up into the correct temperature. Bottas comes into the pits as well. A 4.7 second pit stop for him. And let's wait and see, though. Piastri comes into the pits. He's going to be bolting on a set of medium tyres. So we've got a lot of mix up there. Hamilton's out on the softs. Verstappen out on the hards. Piastri out on the mediums. Let's wait and see what Sainz and Norris do, who are currently in first and second place of this race. The lap times are tumbling, and Lando Norris is going to be coming into the pits on this occasion. Charles Leclerc is a 2.4 second pit stop. He comes out on a set of slick tyres as well, but he is currently in 15th position and he's got a long way to go to get anywhere near the points. Albon into the pits, Tsunoda into the pits, Alonso into the pits. Everyone coming into the pits now. This lap or the next lap, that is the changeover time. The drivers lose 9 seconds if they pit under safety car or virtual safety car. They lose 20 seconds under green flag conditions. But of course, that relies on a safety car coming out. In these changeable conditions, it is quite likely that there could be a safety car, but nothing as of yet. Lando Norris comes into the pits. He's been told to box. And let's wait and see. What tyres does he come on to? He drives down the pit lane, looks to his grid slot, turns the car in, and what tyres does he get? Lando Norris has got a set of soft tyres. We've got 13 laps remaining of this race, and Lando Norris is coming into the pits for a set of soft tyres. It was a 4.5 second pit stop, a little bit slow, and in fact, that's going to help Lewis Hamilton close up. Here they come out of the pit lane. Lando Norris, Lewis Hamilton, they are so close, and a slow pit stop from Norris means that Hamilton's got the lead of this race. What a turn of events, and Lando Norris, after a slow pit stop, has really been compromised. How the tables have turned. Last weekend out in Austria, Max Verstappen got a slow pit stop and Norris had a shot at the lead. This weekend out, Norris was in the lead, and because he got a slow pit stop, Lewis Hamilton has taken that lead off him. The gap is 2 seconds. And Hamilton has got a purple first sector. Those soft tyres are switched on. He's already done 1 lap on them. Lando Norris has just come out of the pits. They're going to be a little bit cold. And we have got 13 laps left of racing, folks. And the top 2 are going to be battling out for the lead of this race. All right, we've got 21,000 people tuned into the live stream. Thank you so much for tuning in, folks. If you could hit the like button and subscribe, that'd be fantastic. I commentate all of the qualifying, all of the races, and I look forward to commentating to you guys for the Hungarian Grand Prix and for the Belgian Grand Prix before the summer break. If we could hit 79k subscribers, that would be fantastic. But a slow pit stop for McLaren. It was just all around slow. It took a while to lift the car up from the jacks, and because of that 2 seconds slower, and Hamilton has got the lead of this race. It was so close there. And a fastest lap of the race, that's been taken away by Lewis Hamilton, a 1:30.3. And now Max Verstappen has taken that away from Lewis Hamilton. The top 3 are within 6 seconds of each other, folks. The top 3 are within 6 seconds of each other. Hamilton gets told over the radio, Norris is on the same tyre. He says, "Leave it to me, mate. I've got this under control." And I'm sure he has. Lewis Hamilton, he's won the Silverstone Grand Prix 8 times. If he wins this time, that will be 9 times he's won this Grand Prix. But Lando Norris and Max Verstappen will be doing absolutely everything they can in their power to try and stop that from happening. Lando Norris is on the softs. Verstappen is on the hards. Was that the wrong choice from Max Verstappen? Are those hards just not going to be quick enough? Are they not going to provide enough grip for Verstappen to get the lead? Only time will tell. We've got 12 laps left of this race, and Norris's tyres finally up to temperature. He sets a personal best first sector, and now he's going to set his sights on Lewis Hamilton. 2.5 seconds is the gap between himself and Hamilton. Verstappen, the gap between himself and Hamilton is 5.6 seconds, and that was previously 6 seconds. So that is Verstappen really picking up the pace here. Piastri with the fastest lap of the race. Of course, he was compromised much earlier in the race, but he's still going to do his best to try and catch up to the drivers up at the front. Verstappen with a purple middle sector. Even though he's on a set of hard tyres, he's got purple on the middle sector. DRS has been enabled, folks. We are going to have some great racing as well. DRS enabled. Lando Norris with a fastest lap of the race. Max Verstappen quickly takes that away from him, but the gap up at the front, 2.5 seconds, is now down to 2.3. Here we go then. The soft tyres may start overheating. Like, track temperature currently 24 degrees, but the sun is out. Maybe in a couple of minutes time, track temperature increases and the soft tyres, the drivers may start struggling from overheating issues. So let's just wait and see. 11 laps of racing and a 3-way battle for the lead of this race. This is going to be fantastic. We've had so much good racing as of, in the previous 42 laps, and we've still got 10 laps left to go, and we've still got more good racing on the menu. Here we go then, folks. Let me know who you think is going to win this race. Will it be Hamilton? Will it be Norris? Will it be Max Verstappen? And also let me know who your driver of the day will be. Nico Hulkenberg up there in 5th position, right behind Carlos Sainz, doing a fantastic job as Nico Hulkenberg. Haas have brought upgrades. It's really worked well for them. And it's 6th position for the Haas team. And we've got the 2 Aston Martins in 7th and 8th. It's their home Grand Prix, of course. And, their factory is 10 minutes away from the circuit. So yeah, the Aston Martins very, very happy with the result that they're scoring this weekend. Alex Albon currently in the points, looking to overtake Yuki Tsunoda, doing a great job there, and we'll see what Albon can do. But of course, it's Williams' home Grand Prix, and they are scoring some points as well, which is great to see. But as we direct ourselves back up to the front, we are playing a cat and mouse game of who gets fastest lap of the race. And Lando Norris is not catching up to Lewis Hamilton. However, Max Verstappen is catching up to Lando Norris, and Verstappen fastest lap of the race, and he goes half a second quicker than Lando on the previous lap. Yeah, I have a feeling these soft tyres, Lando Norris might have had to cool his tyres down a little bit. He pushed really hard on the first 2 laps after he came out of the pits, but those soft tyres, they are going to be struggling soon enough. So let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Maybe the hard tyres were correct. I think the mediums were probably the best choice because the hards are a little bit too long. There was only 13 laps that they were going to do anyway. So I think the medium tyres were probably the best. But of course, Mercedes, neither of the Red Bulls had a set of mediums. It was only the McLarens that had medium tyres. Oh, fantastic. We've hit 79k. I guess we can hit that, put that up to 80k, but it's sensational. 80,000 fans or 79,000 subscribers, that can fill up the entirety of Wembley Stadium. It is incredible to think of that number, and I really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you everyone for subscribing and hitting the like button and just typing in the chat. I genuinely hope you are enjoying the coverage. We've had some fantastic racing so far, and we've got fantastic racing to come for the remainder of the season, with the top 3 teams so close together. Lando Norris now a fastest lap of the race, and never mind, Max Verstappen has taken that away from him, and once again we are playing this game of cat and mouse, and the gap down to 2.1 seconds. Lando Norris catching up to Lewis Hamilton. 9 laps left to go. This is getting closer and closer, and as we approach the final couple of laps of the race, the top 3 are converging all on the same piece of tarmac, and we are going to have a spectacular battle in the final couple of laps of this Grand Prix. Here we go, folks. Yeah, no one in the history of Formula One has won at 9 times at the same circuit. Lewis Hamilton could go on to break history here and break a couple of records in the process. He's done a fantastic job staying exactly where he needed to be, making a couple of mistakes in the process, but he's been at the right place at the right time, ahead of his teammates, so he doesn't suffer from double stacking issues. And of course, George Russell, his teammate, having to suffer from an engine issue. Oh no, a water system issue. Yeah. Oh, and we've got drivers. Oh, okay. So Red Bull have come over the radio to Max Verstappen saying the drivers ahead of him, which are Lando Norris and Hamilton, both drivers are on soft tyres, and they are struggling with their front left tyre. Going through Copse, that is so much load. Going through turn number 1, there is loads of load on the front left tyre. Going through Stowe, the front left tyre gets under load as well. And the front left tyre really takes a beating around here, and Verstappen and Red Bull, essentially what they've said to Verstappen is that the drivers ahead of you, their front left tyre is wearing out. You have got to go maximum attack and try and capitalise on the issues that they are suffering from. So let's wait and see. Piastri quickest in the final sector there, doing a good job on those medium tyres. He's closing up to the drivers ahead, but the gap, of course, 15 seconds, compromised by the strategy of the first pit stops. So yeah, here we go. 8 laps left of this race, and Lando Norris is catching up very, very slowly. It's cat and mouse. One time, Lewis Hamilton's quicker on the previous lap. One time, it is Lando Norris. Let's wait and see. It would break the record of most wins by a driver at a single circuit. Currently, Michael Schumacher has got 8 wins at a single circuit, and I think that was the Hungaroring. Lewis Hamilton has got 8 wins at Silverstone, and if he wins this Grand Prix, that will make it 9. Okay. Here we go. A nerve-wracking race indeed. Here we go then. 7 laps remain, and Lando Norris, Lando Norris makes a little bit of a mistake there, and Max Verstappen is on his tail. The gap now 1.6 seconds. We might not get a battle up for first and second place, but we definitely might get round number 2 between Lando Norris and Max Verstappen. The gap now below 1.5 seconds, and Verstappen is really catching up. Lando Norris struggling with his front left tyres. His soft tyres starting to overheat. The sun has come out. The circuit's getting warmer and warmer, and in every single sector, Max Verstappen gaining 0.2 of a second, and it will only be a matter of time now before he gets some DRS on the McLaren, and we could have another chance of some racing. Lando Norris, of course, he does have the opportunity to do the funniest thing possible and crash Max Verstappen out, and probably crash himself out in the process. But I have a feeling that Lando Norris at his home race would at least like to score a podium, and let's see what happens then. Lap 46 of 52. The soft tyres getting worse and worse as every lap progresses. The hard tyres becoming better and better. Gap down to 1.2 seconds. We've got a massive dry line forming. The driver's no longer worried about going offline and spinning out. It is now just 100% focus on extracting as much pace from those tyres that they possibly can. All right, what a Grand Prix this has been. Honestly, it's got to be 10 out of 10. It cannot be any better. It cannot be any lower, to say the least. Vote for Drive of the Day closes in 4 laps time. Honestly, I'm going to have to give it to... I don't know. Still not sure on who I should give Drive of the Day to. Maybe if Lando Norris can defend against Max Verstappen, he gets Drive of the Day. But currently, Lewis Hamilton has got 26% of the votes. Lando Norris has got 19, and Verstappen has got 11. Let's wait and see now. Gap down to 1.1 seconds. It is the closest it has ever been, and right at the start of this race, Max Verstappen got the lead ahead of Lando Norris. He swooped around the outside going through turn number 4, and as they approach Copse Corner, Lando Norris is coming under pressure once again from Max Verstappen. Okay, 6 laps left to go. What will come of this Grand Prix? Right, I'm going to have a quick sip of water. My throat is really hurting now. But honestly, I can't stop commentating because this race is spectacular. Icelandic Acro Team, thank you for the donation. Great commentary, very much do appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much. Very much. I'm glad that you're enjoying the coverage, really. And yeah, once again, folks, if you are enjoying and would like to help out the channel financially, of course, YouTube donations are fantastic. And if you want a couple of extra bonuses to go along with your donations, then there is a Patreon link in the description. There is also a Buy Me a Coffee link. But I'm going to stop talking about that, stop plugging myself. We have got a race on our hands, 5 laps left to go, and a battle between Lando Norris and Max Verstappen. It is round number 2 of Austria. On the next race, on the next weekend, we are... 7 days later, we've got it again. Lando Norris versus Max Verstappen. Here they go through Copse Corner. Lando Norris is 4 tenths ahead of Verstappen. Let's wait and see what they do. Going through Max and Beckett's now. The hanger straight is up and coming. The DRS has been enabled, and this is prime opportunity number 1 for Lando Norris to lose his position to Max Verstappen. So here we go. Verstappen, he's got the DRS open. He's gaining. He looks to the inside. Lando Norris takes the inside line. Verstappen swoops round the outside of Lando Norris, and there is nothing Norris can do. Very, very clean driving from the both of them. Nobody squabbling and pushing each other off at the racing line like last weekend. But let's wait and see what Lando Norris can do, because he is right on Verstappen's tail as they now head towards the start-finish straight. Max Verstappen has got a fastest lap of the race, a purple third sector, of course, thanks to some DRS and slipstream off Lando Norris. But we've got 4 laps remaining. Let's see what Lando Norris can do. A great move from Max Verstappen to get the lead off him. Well, to get second place off him. Now let's see if Lando Norris can re-overtake him as they come out of turn number 4. Lando Norris, has he got DRS? Yes, he has. He's 9 tenths behind Max Verstappen, though. It is going to be tough to stay on the back of him. Let's wait and see. I think Verstappen is a little bit too far back from Lewis Hamilton. 4 laps remain. Unless Hamilton makes a mistake, I think Hamilton has got this one in the bag. But let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Ooh, what a Grand Prix it has been. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much. And once again, Icelandic Acro team, I very much do appreciate your donation. Yeah, 300, I think, of Icelandic kronas, I'm not exactly sure, but 3,000. Yeah, oops, apologies for everything lagging a little bit. My computer's on its last legs with 25,000 people tuned into the coverage. Yeah, my computer's really just hanging on here. We've got 3 laps left to go, and Lewis Hamilton is 3.2 seconds ahead of Max Verstappen, and we've got Lando Norris 1.6 seconds behind Max Verstappen. So yeah, it's we'll wait and see what Norris can do, but he's lost 1.3 or 1.5 seconds in the previous lap, and it feels like it's going to be rather difficult to get another move on. Hamilton is coming through some traffic that might cause a couple of issues, but 3 laps remain, and Hamilton has got a lot of experience passing traffic, so we'll wait and see what happens. Of course, there is Sergio Perez, who is currently traffic for Lewis Hamilton. It would be really funny if Sergio Perez crashed into Hamilton, but I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah. All right, yeah, Hamilton is, he's so close to tasting that champagne. It's 3 seconds is the gap, and there's 3 laps left. Oh, my God. Yeah, we need a Bono, my tyres are gone. We need that, and then maybe Verstappen will catch up. But Hamilton, thankfully, he's getting a bit of DRS off a couple of the back markers as well, which is helping keep Verstappen at bay. Verstappen is lapping a slightly quicker than Hamilton at this moment in time. But with only 3 laps left to go, who knows what will happen. Perez has been lapped 2 times. Charles Leclerc is about to get... Oh no, Charles Leclerc won't be lapped 2 times, but Ocon, Perez and Zhou have been lapped 2 times in this Grand Prix. It has been a day to forget for those drivers. And Charles Leclerc as well, getting compromised by the strategy at Ferrari. They've made an absolute massive blunder, and they are out of the points. Carlos Sainz, of course, 10 places above his teammate in 5th place. Nico Hülkenberg as well, doing a fantastic job. Why is Sainz coming into the pits? Sainz is coming into the pits, I think, to do a fastest lap of the race. Okay, Sainz is going to... Interesting. He's pitting for the fastest lap. Right. Sure. I thought Ferrari were just about to mess up Sainz's strategy as well, but it's looking good for now. We are on lap number 51 of 52 of this Grand Prix. Some sensational racing has been taking place, and we have got more sensational racing up and coming in 2 weeks' time in the Hungarian Grand Prix. Yeah, the crowd are absolutely over the moon here. Lewis Hamilton is our current race leader with 2.6 second lead over Max Verstappen. Let's wait and see what he can do. But here he comes now out of the... Ooh, yeah. Here comes Lewis Hamilton then for the penultimate time out of the club corner. He comes across the line to start the final lap of this race. What a race it has been. What a drive from Lewis Hamilton. We've got 5.8 kilometers left of this circuit to do. Let's wait and see what happens. Yeah. Here we go. It's reliability issues for George Russell, Lewis Hamilton's teammate. He could have been the driver on the top step, but unfortunately reliability issues have caught him out, and Russell is going to be so devastated. And a water system issue for George Russell. So so out of character for Mercedes. It's so rare that you see mechanical issues these days, but George Russell having a mechanical issue at the worst possible occasion. It is the final lap of the race. Lewis Hamilton comes through Copse Corner, through Maggots and Beckett's for the final time, and he has driven spectacularly, been exactly where it needed to be at the correct time, made the correct calls over the strategy to his team, and the team have executed perfect pit stops, getting him out ahead of Lando Norris for the lead of this race. He comes through Stowe Corner for the final time. The British fans are on their feet and cheering at the top of their lungs. He comes out of the final corner. He crosses the line to win 9 Grand Prix at Silverstone and break a world record. What a drive from Lewis Hamilton. Max Verstappen 1.5 seconds behind Lewis, and Lando Norris comes home in 3rd place for a podium at his home race. Oscar Piastri in 4th position, compromised by the strategy, yet able to recover and give us a sensational drive. And then we have everyone else so much further behind. What a drive. I've just got to say, what a race this has been. So many twists and turns and action, constant non-stop action. It has been brilliant, and thank you everyone for tuning in. It has been a massive pleasure commentating to you guys. I hope I see you for the Hungarian Grand Prix in 2 weeks time. It has been brilliant commentating to you, and hopefully I will see you then. I'm still going to stick around for a bit, of course. We've had quite a lot of action, so yeah, wow. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And then we have Carlos Sainz coming across the line for the fastest lap of the race. Ferrari not messing that one up, and he gets the fastest lap and 5th position for Carlos Sainz. What a race it has been, and thank you so much for tuning in, folks. It has been a pleasure commentating to you guys here for the British Grand Prix. Wow. I am so speechless, and as a commentator, it's my job to not be speechless in these kind of moments, but what a Grand Prix we have had, and what a spectacular race we have experienced. Okie doke, so yeah, get in there, Lewis. Alex Albon comes home to score some points. The Aston Martins in 7th and 8th position, done a brilliant job there. And once again, everyone that has tuned in, very much do appreciate it. If you do want to help out the channel financially, then there is a Patreon link in the description. It would massively help out the channel, hopefully help me get a new laptop to stop all of the lag going on the screen. And yeah, that has been wow, what a race. I mean, let me know what you think the race is out of 10. I'm going to say 10 out of 10 for sure. Even, I guess, for a Charles Leclerc fan, you probably won't say 10 out of 10. You're probably not too pleased with the result considering what Ferrari have done. But I've got to say this has been fantastic. Okay. 9.5 out of 10, 10 out of 10, indeed. Okie dokes, folks. That has been the British Grand Prix. All the drivers make their way into the pits, and of course we have 2 British drivers on the podium. Max Verstappen in 2nd place. We've had a whole lot of action, and this is the one thing that you can take away from this, even if you aren't a Lewis Hamilton fan or a Lando Norris fan or a Max Verstappen fan, is that we have got so much more action in the upcoming pits of the season now. Now we know Mercedes are capable of winning a race. We know that McLaren are capable of winning a race, and of course we know that Red Bull are struggling and are no longer as dominant as they were before. There's massive possibilities. We could have so many different overtaking, so many different things that could happen in the upcoming races because everyone is so close together. And wow. Other things to keep in mind: after the summer break, we may see Logan Sargent out of his seat. James Vowles has said if Logan Sargent doesn't perform, then he will not be getting a seat after the summer break, which is quite crazy, to be honest. But yeah, Yeah, we have witnessed history. Lewis Hamilton, of course, the first Formula One driver to win 9 times at a single circuit, and him doing it his home circuit is absolutely fantastic. And Ferrari has become midfield. Yeah, that is another thing to take away. Hülkenberg, Haas, their upgrades have been working absolute wonders. Yuki Tsunoda scoring some points, being ahead of Daniel Ricciardo once again. And yeah, what a race this has been. The real winner is indeed Netflix. There has been quite lots of action that has been going on. We've nearly broken a record for the number of people on a live stream as well. So that has been brilliant for the channel as well. Okay, what a Grand Prix this has been. I'm going to end the stream here, folks. It will take you over to the Hungarian Grand Prix stream. Go ahead and press the reminder button, press the like button, and all of those things. Especially do remember to press the reminder button, though, so you do tune in for the coverage. And that has been it from me. It's been a pleasure commentating to you guys, all 25,000 of you, and everyone in the chat has been very, very lovely. And thank you once again to our moderators. They've been doing a fantastic job. We've got a couple new moderators this stream as well. And yeah, have a wonderful morning, evening, night, or afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. And yeah, a pleasure commentating to you guys, and I will see you in 2 weeks' time for the Hungarian Grand Prix. I'll be doing FP1, I'll be doing FP2, 3, qualifying, and then, of course, the race as well. And I hope that we do have a race as good as this one. That has been it, and I shall end this stream. It'll take you over to the Hungarian Grand Prix, and once again, just hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the reminder button as well, so you do not miss that one. That's it from me, folks. Thank you very, very much for tuning in, and I will see you in 2 weeks' time. Cheers, fellas.